GPF. So don't give me none of this other shit about these other facilities. It was this man who started it. Woodrow, Josh Woods, what's up, man?
What's going on, man? How are you?
Hey, before I was right, though, right? You started it first?
Well, I mean, in the modern form of training facilities, I guess we were the first one to kind of,
Yeah.
come up with the concept. So, yes.
That's what I thought. You had a different deal where you would rent spots as opposed to just showing up for the day, but it was a riding facility, right? Yes.
Yeah, it was kind of more like what the name is, practice facility, I guess, at the time.
Yep.
Right, when we basically took on members to kind of help pay for itself,
Right.
So me being fresh out of high school, I had my own, professional level supercross track that we were able to, kind of paid for itself because we brought people in to kind of help cover the costs. So it was kind of a cool concept that worked, and, as I kind of got to the end of my racing days, just kind of transitioned over to more of a training facility.
Yeah, did you ever think, like, when you were racing, right? Obviously, you were a factory rider for KTM, and you were a Team Green kid and Canadian guy, Canadian championship guy. Did you ever think, like, hey, I'm going to run GPF when I'm done? Or were you like, I guess we'll sell it at some point? Like, did you ever think you would be where you are right now when you were racing?
I don't know that I ever had the thought that we would sell it, but I didn't know that it would become that, right? Like, nobody knew.
Right.
And in fact, at one point, there was a time when, one of the owners of GPF, we had 5 owners to start with, and one of the owners had quit racing. He was kind of a businessman. Well, he wanted to turn GPF basically into what MTF was, right? Like, at the time. He wanted to build a gym on site. He wanted to spend all this money, and my dad was working full-time. I was racing full-time. And the risk, of something like that was just too much for us. We said, oh, well, we're just going to buy you out. So we bought him out, and then he went into business with Colleen, and they built right next door.
Oh, so Colleen wasn't even there at all? Nothing?
No, like, that was a farm field next to us. Wow. And Colleen and Pete Brewington built MTF right next to us, kind of in the summer when we were closed. So we really didn't know what was all going on until it was already there.
Wow.
So,
oh boy,
it was a little contentious at first, but we've worked it out. We get along good. So.
I should know this. Wes Williams from Vermoto here, Josh. What year did you start GPF?
2000. So this is our 20th year in operation.
Oh my gosh. So what, MTF would have come along in 2001?
04, I think.
Oh wow. So you guys were up and running a long time before.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, we started off small. Like, we've kind of expanded over the years. So we started off with like 32 acres, and had the one thing we had right from the get-go, we had a badass supercross track right from the get-go. We had Barnett come in and build a full-on supercross track with sprinkler system, and then the motocross track's probably what's evolved the most at GPF, where it kind of has gotten better and better. The first track we had was just kind of laid out in the woods; you could barely even see it. So we've kind of gone through and cleaned the wooded area. We've left all the big trees and, kind of cleaned out the brush and opened it up a little bit, and
Wes
kind
here
of developed the land a lot more.
Wes here said he's never really filmed a GPF. Is there an anti-verb?
No,
I don't know.
It was
well,
because.
Always,
go ahead.
Everybody graduates. Everyone gravitates towards MTF when they come to Cairo. It seems like or Carmichael.
Well, it was always because we were filming the Red Bull kids. And so, more than likely they did. Like, MTF has always been sponsored by Red Bull. So, like, most of the time when I went to Cairo, it was, for a specific purpose. And I don't know that I ever found myself down there for verb stuff all that often.
Right.
It was always for someone paying me to go do stuff. And if I did go down, it was filming with, like, Brandon Mays or Justin Barsha.
Right.
Like
Ashley Filick, like there were, just people in that area.
And they were at MTF.
And most of them were at MTF because, like, GPF even at that time was still just a practice facility. So, like, even Stephen Clark, Trevor Doney, like a lot of the kids that Vince Freezy, like so many of the kids that we were working with at the time just happened to be MTF guys. But
GPF is the home to many Canadian champions over the years. Many Canadian champions.
Most.
Not you though.
Not me.
Man, I forget how many. I did the math on this last year. It was like 20-some championships, I think, between 450 and 250.
Who's someone who rode a GPF that is a pro now or became a pro and had good results more so than you ever thought, Woodrow? Like somebody who surprised you a little bit. Is there a name that comes to mind?
Oh, man, surprised me?
Yeah.
maybe not so much on that side. More they didn't quite do what I would hope they would do, I guess. But gosh, I'm trying to think of one that would surprise me. I hate to say I don't really know how one that really surprised me. I mean, they've done, kind of what I thought they would do, right? Or, what I would hope they had done.
Right.
Right. So, but
what about when it comes to Michigan Mafia? Do we just say John Kitch never quite did what we all thought he was going to do?
Yeah. God, that guy was unreal.
Dude, he was unreal.
No,
Kitch was unreal.
Yep.
What year was this?
Early 90s?
Early 90s.
Oh,
yeah.
Late 80s, early 90s. Him and Swink and McClear. And
yeah.
That was my wheelhouse right there.
Right.
I was right when I was growing up in Michigan. So
Kitch was good.
It's unreal how many guys came from Michigan back then.
Hey, what about Maximoff? He came up to Canada and won the 80 championship, the national championship up in Canada one year. Matt Maximoff.
Yep. He was the best. He was the best on 80 at one time. He was Justin Buckaloo at one time.
Was he really? Yeah, he was that good, huh?
Yeah, I mean, he was full factory Yamaha. Had it all, and then just pressure from dad, and
right.
kind of got into it, and yeah. Unfortunately, we've seen that story too much since then.
What are we gonna do, Woodrow? Look, you're my amateur guy because I don't follow the amateur stuff. I don't ask Wes about amateurs. I don't really care.
No, you don't.
I like Mumford, but he's a pro now, and then I like that.
You liked AC.
I liked AC.
You gotta find a new amateur guy.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah,
there's a lot of good ones.
No, I got one. Di Francesco.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
we've chatted.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he might be my guy.
Hey, I got a good one for you at GPF right now. His name's Thor Powell.
Oh, I love that kid.
What is his name?
Number 50, but he's Thor Powell.
Wait, his name is Thor?
Thor Powell.
I like the kid already. That's a rad name.
But you're gonna like me more. He's number 15 on a Cowie.
Oh, it's beautiful.
He's your guy.
Yeah.
He's beautiful.
He has an epic personality. He's a cool little kid.
Yeah.
Well, he's not a little kid anymore.
Is he 80s or is he like grown?
80s
now?
right now.
Oh, okay.
He just won the GNCC last weekend.
That's I didn't know that. That's cool.
He's a moto guy, and he won the GNCC.
He's a moto guy. He just started doing like some GNCCs on the side, and he won one.
I like him. Yeah, I'm in with Thor. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. That's your guy.
Hey, so without the Supercross Futures, which we found out last week are going to be not on the agenda for 2021, how are these kids going to get points, Wes and Josh? How is this going to happen? How are you going to determine who's eligible for Supercross? Like Max Volan, for example. Like,
Well,
we're just going to have to listen to the teams.
I hear the amateur nationals are kind of just going to turn into that, right? So I think even starting at Gatorback, they're going to have some type of points towards it. So I don't know how that's going to work.
So
but
they'll set up
hurry up and put something together.
They'll set up a system for 1 year and then let it go bonk. Like, I don't know. Does that really make that much sense?
They got to do something, right? They got to have a way to make them eligible, I would think.
Why?
Or do they just hand pick them?
Yeah, that's what I would think. Like, Max Volan's ready to race.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, and they're gonna give him a spot, I'm sure. But I mean,
yeah, just as an example, but yeah, because riding a Minio Supercross track doesn't tell you that you're good enough to ride a professional Supercross track.
No, absolutely not. No, I agree with that, but at the same time, you have to police it somehow, right? Because if you're going to let one do it, the argument's going to be, well, where do you cut it off, right? How do you tell this kid he can and this guy can't?
So you're saying it'll open the
flood. Before you know it, somebody's gonna sue Feld because they didn't give him their pro license.
So yeah, you're saying like it'll open the floodgates for a year, and just the backlash from that alone will be like, all right, yeah.
So they gotta come up with something.
Well, one thing for sure, make sure that the Europeans who never ride Supercross get in right away. Make sure they get their licenses, because God knows they're the most qualified out of anybody. How ass backwards was that whole fucking thing? Like, unbelievable. Just unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you're from Europe? Oh, well, just race. You're fine. Like, what? You're making fucking Aaron Plessinger go through the Arena Cross Series? And this guy from Europe can just come on over? Killian Alberson, come on over? Or whoever? Like, unbelievable.
I actually thought the Arena Cross Series was the best way to do it, I thought.
Yeah, better than Futures,
Better than, yeah, I mean, I thought that was a cool way to grandfather them in, get them used to racing in front of a pro stage, actually have some results, right?
Yeah,
like they could go in and win some races, and it was kind of cool all around, and we did our little Arena Cross team for a couple of years just kind of for that reason, right? To kind of help these kids kind of move along, right? So, we had Brees and Teasdale there the last year we did it. So both those guys race Supercross now.
You have Mini O's coming up end of this month, of course.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Who's next for amateurs? Who's next? Is anybody? Is there going to be
Matt LeBlanc, Levi Kitchen?
That B class from
B class
pretty intense.
Yeah.
Was it? Okay.
There was, I think Loretta's B and Schoolboy 2 had 5 factory bikes. I mean, I've never seen that many factory bikes at an amateur race. Like, it was pretty, and they sounded like full-on bikes. They were all pretty fast.
Yeah.
So,
and they all have different strengths.
But you guys are missing the point here. You as usual with you amateur people, you're missing my point. So, Jordan Bailey, Swole, Cantrell, Drake. These guys are not hitting. They're not hitting. You know what I mean? And look, nothing against them guys. They're great riders, but they're not doing what they're supposed to do. And when you tell me Kitchen and Matt LeBlanc and all this, is there a winner here? I mean, is there an obvious? I don't even want to say Stu because that's once in a lifetime. I don't want to say Mike Alessi because that's once in a lifetime. But is there unquestionably the next guy coming? Without a doubt will be, top 3 win races.
It's just a different era than it was with Stu and Mike.
You never know.
Well, thanks, Woodrow. Thanks, Woodrow, for the deep analysis. You never know.
It's because of places like GPF, MTF, all like a million training facilities now. They're all on the level that the fast dudes used to be on. Like before this all existed, there was one standout because that guy would go do all the work and he was that fast.
Okay.
Now, in my opinion, they're all that fast. And so and the problem is like they get used to winning all throughout their amateur careers, and as soon as you bump up, in my opinion, a lot of times way too early, like you need another year to mature. Like why do it at 16?
Right. Hammaker's 20. We just found out. I mean, he's had some injuries, so he's older than I thought.
And hopefully that maturity will help. But like,
I like his story.
Yeah.
He's cool because he kind of came on late, right? I'd never even heard of the kid before, and then all of a sudden he shows up at Loretta's on Super Mini, and he's battling for the lead.
Right.
It was the first time I'd ever heard of the kid. Had no help at all.
Right.
He was riding a Cowie Super Mini against all these, faster KTMs, and did great, and so he's a cool story. I like his thing, and I do think there's something to the burnout of the younger kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
And not mental burnout, it's physical burnout, right?
Right.
Yep.
I think,
they start training at 10 years old now.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, I mean, your body only has so many years of training at that level, right? I mean, between injuries and just wear and tear, and so if you start it that much earlier,
and another point is like say Derek Drake or whatever, you get used to winning the Super Mini class, the 125 class, the 250B class, then the A class. Like as soon as you go pro too early, like you think you're ready, but like you're not ready to get 10th place. The mental anguish that happens so quick.
Yeah.
Like you just it crushes you, and like it just seems like they never bounce back.
But here's the thing, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, because you're the amateur experts over here, both of you. Like you watch Barsha, you watch Stroop, okay, who didn't work out, but more of his own personal issues. Stroop, Barsha, Kennard, Alessi, Stu, RC, like is there an obvious one? No?
Like I said, they used to be standouts because the training facilities didn't exist.
Okay.
Like, but Stroop, I don't know. I used to ride with him when he was on 80s, and like he was still unbelievable. But like that many kids are that unbelievable now. If you ask me.
Yeah.
When you go to Loretta, like he just said, there's 5 factory dudes in the B class now. So it's just.
But I don't care about that because 4 of those are gonna miss.
Don't disagree, but it's hard to distinguish now. Like
you're right.
Yeah.
Back then, it was easy to distinguish because there wasn't 5 factory kids. You had the Stroop and Izzy, the only 2 factory. Well, I guess you had Kennard, but like Kennard wasn't really part of the mix then. It was Stroop and Izzy that were always the standouts.
Still fat Kennard back then. Still fat Kennard.
Yeah, up until about 06.
Yeah. He wasn't fat, but he was bigger, right?
A little bigger,
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, a little snack back like Zach.
Yeah. But okay, so there isn't anybody coming that is gonna. There isn't anybody coming. There's nobody that's gonna blow.
I wouldn't say that. I don't know that yet. I think it's too early to tell. I mean, I think there's a couple kids that have potential to. It's just a matter of them staying healthy is probably the biggest one.
Yeah.
And to kind of the right opportunity, and things come together. So
Forkner was kind of the last one in that like holy shit standout. I
mean,
remember going to Freestone.
I heard about Forkner like holy shit, Forkner's amazing. You know what I mean? Everyone was saying that. So
so I don't know if you're going to see any more of the ones that just stand out all alone anymore, right? Like there's always going to be. I think there's going to be competition no matter what.
I agree. I agree with that.
And Red Dog's kid is Supercross specialist like his old man.
Well, that's cool.
Right?
I don't know. He's been winning outdoor races now too. So
yeah, true. Yeah.
yeah. Just like Timmy though.
Oh, Timmy was just the indoor just like MC, same level.
Yeah.
Josh Woods on the Pulp MX show, brought to you by Scosche. Pulp 2020 is the code to save with Scosche.com. Rockstar Energy Husky, of course, using Scosche as well. So please check them out and use the code and get a BaseLink system, get a charging cord, get the little battery pack thing, the jumper deal. Figure it out. Give us a call if you want to talk to Josh Woods, 702-586-PULP, 702-586-7857. Woodrow, so you got a race coming up. It's a kind of a big deal for you guys. I really like what you're doing. It is a cash for class. You have scholarships for certain classes, and this is it's a good idea, man. This is awesome.
Yeah, something we wanted to do for a long time was potentially go racing at GPF, right? It was just a long process turning a training facility into a full-on racetrack because we didn't just want to do it small scale. We wanted to do it big, And we've created a good relationship with on-track schools over the past 10 years or so, doing scholarships with Andrea and kind of collectively we came up with this idea of a new way to kind of pay back to racers, right? I mean, when I was a kid, we chased contingency. We chased Cali Tennessee or whatever the Tennessee races were across the country, right, and tried to make money that way. But, that's kind of gone to the wayside. And, there was always tons of tracks that, would have, pro purse here or there, right, a $10,000 pro purse here, $10,000 pro purse there. But the problem was, like, those pro purse races didn't help the industry necessarily, right? They helped keep those riders racing, but they didn't help grow the industry because those pros didn't bring anybody to the track with them, right? They didn't help make that track make money that weekend. They weren't really bringing spectators, So we kind of like, well, what if we come up with a purse that pays back in a way that would encourage school, So
don't be a fool. Stay in school. Sorry, I've been waiting. I've been working on that all day.
Well, that's why I came out cash for class, kind of a plan.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. I pity the fool that doesn't stay in school.
I pity the fool.
That's timely.
But so the hard part was kind of how do we do this, right? Like, how do we pay it back? And honestly, a year ago I had a really hard time even explaining how we were doing this. But we kind of just jumped into it, and Andrea was very confident we could make it happen, and she had the 501c3 account, the nonprofit account that we could funnel the money through, and had a way to basically whatever how these kids do, they earn a certain amount of money, a way to transfer it to them to where they can turn it into money to use for school, and then not just any not just college, like this is any school, right? So,
right.
So basically what we did is we created for the school age classes, where we took 13 classes that we're going to pay back in. And, the purse is basically, it's a little over $13,000 that we're going to pay back this year. And how it works is we pay back the top 10 of those classes. Say first place is $250. And basically you get a certificate, but, if they don't have one already, they go home, they create their own personal account, and it's called a 529 educational savings plan. And every bank can do that.
Yep.
And basically that money will transfer directly into that account. And once it's in that account, you can do what you want with it, right? I mean, if you use it for trade school or technical school or college or even private K through 12 or homeschool, that money can be used tax-free. I guess if you really wanted to cash it out and use it for dirt bikes, you could
you could also do that.
And do that if you wanted. So you could turn it into cash money if you really wanted to.
Yeah.
But
that's awesome.
But it's just a way, and the idea is to kind of grow this thing, and the first step was kind of raising the money to make it work, and we were able to do that. Honestly, we've done it without the industry, really. We've raised the money kind of locally and through some friends' businesses and stuff. We found it a lot easier to raise the money because we're asking for a tax-deductible donation. We're not asking for, hey, give me money for my race.
Right. So, yeah, for sure. It's over 13,000 in scholarship funds, 13 grand.
Yeah,
nice work.
Yeah. So and actually we've raised a lot more than we needed to for this year, which means we're looking really good to have a bigger purse for next year.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the goal of this, is to kind of grow it. And there's been talks with MX Sports and with Tim Cotter about them taking the format on to do certain races as well. So now that we've kind of created the format, there's kind of we have the tools in place to make it work. And with Andrea and On Track, they're willing to kind of maybe take this on to some other tracks, and maybe we get 3, 4, 5, 6 of these races throughout the year at different tracks across the country. A kid gets to 14, 15, 16 years old, and they go, oh man, I got $3-4 grand in my school account.
Yeah.
So
November 13th and 15th, by the way. We didn't say the date. 13th to 15th, couple weeks.
Yes, November 13th and 15th. So we're like a week and a half away now, or somewhere around there. We're about 10 days away. So it's coming up quick.
Yeah.
Kind of a good warm up for Minios, maybe even, right? We're kind of on the way to Minios for most people. We're an hour off I-75, hour off I-10. So kind of no matter which way you're coming from, we're not far out of the way. It's a AMA featured event this year, so we're going to do the number 1 plates and
that's awesome.
Try to make this thing grow, man. We've been working really hard at it. So
can we get Verb there to support these guys? You haven't supported them at all.
We're in.
I need them.
Yeah.
Let's link up tomorrow. I'm definitely down to help do whatever I can.
Yeah, he's close by. Yeah,
I'm 4 hours away.
Yeah, see? $13,000 in scholarship funds, 13 classes for that. Second annual GPF Cash for Class, November 13th and 15th. So good stuff, Woodrow. Let's get some phone calls. Ryan's on one. He has a question for Josh Woods and Wes Williams. What's up, Ryan?
Hey there. Just trying to get the amateur perspective here that a couple of minutes ago, y'all were talking about riders getting burned out as they rise through the ranks. And I was curious y'all's thought on not having a 125 platform for, like, the Monster Energy guys coming up. Like, Volan kicked butt on a 125. We saw him at Loretta's and all that. But do you think not having a 125 platform anymore kind of contributes to that burnout? And, just kind of want to know y'all's thoughts on that.
I don't really think it has anything to do with it, to be honest. It's just I don't think it has anything to do with the burnout, right? I mean, I think they should all ride 125 at some point? Yeah, absolutely. But and I wish the manufacturers would start making them again, and have a competitive 125 class and maybe even a pro 125 class.
Same.
But the hard part now is these 250s are available, and as soon as you put one of these kids on a 250, they're not going back. Because the 250s are easier to ride, they're faster, they're better bikes, So the 125s have just kind of been, left in the dust. So I encourage them all to race them at least for a year, but if they pass it up, I really don't know that it has much to do with the burnout factor of it, though.
Yeah, I'd say to add on that, if you start training as hard as they do at GPF, MTF, whatever, at 8 to 10 years old. By the time you're 16, you're ready to freaking move to a team, start making money. Like the only option you see is going pro, and whether that's on a team or privateer, you're like, okay, I'm ready. And whether you are or not, that's how you see the most viable way to make money. And again, when you don't do good and your mentality sinks, it doesn't help anybody and just contributes to even further burnout. Like, I just can't fathom being doing that for 8 years before you even start making money. Like the grind that those dudes do day in and day out, every day at those facilities is pretty gnarly. So yeah, I don't think adding a 125 class really helps, because I think most of the guys skip that anyways, want to go straight to the money making. But I would love to see the 125 class, a 125 pro class, like Josh said. That would be unreal.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
All right. Thanks, man. Yep. Thanks for the call.
Thank you.
Thanks. Nash.
Gentlemen.
What's up, Nash?
First of all, awesome guest. Wes is incredible.
Wes is okay. We're gonna get into
We're working on it.
We're gonna get into the PC shop video debacle later, and that may bring Wes down a little bit. But
well, that's a source of contention. We, the fans of Pulp, have been wanting this, but that's okay.
What are the people on snowboard saying? What are the snowboard people saying, Marks?
I don't know, but I'll get back to you on it.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Endless snowboard. Plus two, Woods is awesome. So I got two sincere points. Woods, for the listening audience, what's the number one thing people should work on prior to coming to you? Because I'm sure people come with conflated understanding of where they're at as, say, a person that wants to be serious and wants to be at a training facility, whether it's nutrition, corner speed, technique, and then one more thing I'll add to that.
Well, the biggest thing is the mental side of it, right? Like they come there with these high expectations that, like, after a week or two they should be better, and it doesn't work that way. They like, and parents are even worse sometimes, right? Like they're like, why is my kid not getting better? Why is his results not getting better? Because, well, he's not doing the work.
Right.
Like, I'll give you the tools. I'll kind of give you the platform to do it on, but in the end, it comes down to them putting the work in, and it's not going to happen in a day or a week or a month. It's month and month and month after month, and
it's a grind.
You got to race on top of that too, right? Like it doesn't just happen, and that's where probably the biggest kind of hurdle is mentally getting them to understand, like, it's a grind. This ain't just going to happen overnight.
All right, so I'm listening and hearing what you're saying. Realistic expectations of how long it's going to take is the number one thing every parent should knock into their kid's head. Oh, and also, by the way, the parents should knock it into their own head.
Yes.
And then my last thing is, and Steve, I've never race tech ranted, but I'm thinking this gentleman here could help with some up-and-coming talent.
Pulp 20. Let's go to save the race tech round of the night.
It is. It's right here. Are you ready?
Yeah.
What is wrong with the up-and-comers that they say they got third on the whole shot? Mutants out there.
Oh, my God.
You either got the whole shot or you didn't. You didn't get third, fifth, 10th on the whole shot. What is wrong with these kids?
Honestly, we should line those people up and throw them into a pit of
Steve.
tar, and then they perish in a pit of tar.
Dude, they're mutants. There are serious mutants that do that. They drive me insane.
I got a third place whole shot. Okay, I mean, I guess if you're 10, I'm not going to push you in a pit of tar.
Thank you.
But if you're what, 16, 17?
Came around third on the start.
Dude,
we just need to start grading that. Is that what you're saying?
I don't know.
I know. What's the cutoff? Can you please tell me?
Worse than that.
What's worse than that?
I like talking to the kids.
Hold on. Nash, calm down. Woodrow's talking. Go ahead, Nash.
Sorry.
Well, the one that I always thought was worse than that was, like, I can't remember who it was. There was an arena cross announcer years ago that would, and like the pro arena cross announcer, and she would always say, "You're third place winner." Which was that just blew my mind. That was 1,000 times worse.
That's ridiculous.
Whole shot.
Yeah, that's worse than the whole shot. Yeah, that's worse.
That is.
Yeah,
that's unacceptable.
Woodrow, if you took peak Nick Way on a Super Mini and peak Josh Woods on a Super Mini, who's faster?
Nick was probably a little better on than me. So okay. I don't think I really peaked until I got to like 125 days. So I was a little late.
Okay.
Late bloomer.
All right. I was just checking.
But I was big too, so I had to move up fast. But I think Nick was probably around the same age. But I mean, I was on a 125. I think by the time I was 14.
You know what blows me away about Nick though? When I have him do the shows and I talk to him, I'm like, Nick, like you were like a big deal coming out of amateurs. Like people were like, Nick Way's coming, pro circuit ride. You know what I mean? This and that. And he's always like, no, man, I wasn't on that level. Like I wasn't. I'm like, dude, I was a mechanic.
Yeah.
I was a greaseball mechanic from Canada, and I heard about Nick Way, and this is before the internet. You know what I mean?
And
like,
he was in Mini Warriors. Hey, bud.
Okay,
yeah,
and you're in Mini Warriors.
Yeah.
Like he plays it down like he wasn't on an Alessi or Stu level. Don't get me wrong. He wasn't on that level.
There was hype.
Legit Nick Way hype, and he says there wasn't, and that's bullshit. There was.
Look, I'm a nobody.
Still one of the all-time winners.
In '97, who showed up at Race Champions.
Right.
Nick Way hype.
Right. And what's that, Woodrow?
I think he's one of the all-time winners at Loretta still with 8 or something like that. So I mean, he's like top 10 list of all-time winners at Loretta.
I would say that's hype.
Yeah.
He's. Right? I'm always like, dude, you came in as a lot of pressure and a lot of hype. No, man. No, I was just from Michigan.
He's a humble, fast guy.
Yeah.
Steve, how bristly did he get with the one-win story?
What's that?
How bristly did he get?
Oh, he would never text me back about. No, he never text me back. He would never text me back, and then I would ask him a question about Arma. He would text me back, and then I would ask again about getting a story with him, and he would never text me back. So I did a story on the guys in their career to have won one moto. That's it. That's all they ever won. They never won, anything else but one moto in their career. And Nick is on that list, and dude, he's bitter. He does not want to talk about it. And I never got him for the story. I just never ended up getting him for the story. Like, literally one of my best friends could not he just was like, he probably was like, "Fuck you, I was a failure." Right?
No,
Woodrow, right? That's what he thinks.
Yeah, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's pretty hard on himself.
Yep. So like he literally never wanted to talk about the one moto only that he won. So.
Well, Steve, what do you call them? Precious little flowers, don't you? Don't you call them precious little flowers?
Yeah, he is. So, all right, Nash. Anything else?
All right, cheers, everybody. Great show.
All right.
Thanks.
See you, Nash. All right.
Can we
That
just
tells me you guys are fragile little flowers.
How good does Nash speak? Should he be a reporter?
He is a reporter. Bloomberg News.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah.
He's really good. Okay. Very articulate there.
Yeah. No, absolutely. All right, Woodrow. Anything else? Mini O's coming up for you.
Man.
You're gonna be busy there, of course.
Yeah, we'll be there. So, if anybody wants to get pre-registered or check out more information about our event, it's all on our website, gpfmx.com. And, I got a quick shout out to like the people who kind of financial contributors to our event that kind of made this happen. MMCR, who's been kind of a staple around moto and helped Nick for years, Vaughn Smith. He's kind of always supported our arena cross efforts and stuff. So got a big shout out to him. iHeartRadio in Tallahassee stepped up big to help us do some promotion stuff.
Nice.
Stallings Motors in Cairo, Deep South Kawasaki, Yancey Reynolds, South Georgia Tractor, Protec Cycles, Pendergrass Hay Farms. All these are basically kind of outside, people that came in to help contribute to make this happen. So we hope to kind of make it grow and maybe even bring the industry on board and kind of make this something big, right? And grow it to other tracks even too, right? So we're willing to kind of give our format to other tracks to make this thing grow. But obviously we want to make this kind of a staple too, right? Our race every year and make it bigger. And, it's always been, it was always big for my dad. Like school was always super important for my dad. So this is kind of his baby that started as far as like the continued education thing. And, we're going to run with it and try to make it big.
I like it. I like it.
Good on you, man.
Yep, for sure. Really, really cool deal. Again, November 13th, 15th, Cash for Class, gpfmx.com for more information. Sign up. Go there and help yourself in the future with some winnings. One of my favorite people in the motos world, Josh Woods. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you coming on.
Thanks, Steve, man. Talk soon.
I'll talk to you soon. All right, that's Josh Woods, everybody, brought to you by Scosche.com. Let's go to commercial break here.